Alright, it's Tuesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve. We just got word that there was a new firmware update on the DJI Mavic Mini. It's to revision 104 in their application, and there's a firmware update included with that. So the process to do an update is you want to turn on your Mavic Mini first, one push with a long push, get it started. You want to get the controller going, one push and a long push. You want to get your phone started. I'll clear the application first. Got DJI Fly right there. Now in my case I've already done the updates, but if you should get a message on your screen that updates are available. If not, you can go over to your three dots over on the right and then the About tab, and here's where you do the firmware updates. You can always check for updates. In my case, I'll say your firmware is up to date, so we'll do it both for the application firmware and for the FlySafe database, see if there's any updates there. The app is now at revision 104. Now it may or may not have you do an app update right on the application itself. You may have to go to the Play Store or to DJI's website itself and download their latest. And now as of this morning, they actually still had it listed as a 103, but if you do download it and install it, it shows up as a 104 on your application. You do have to update, in my case, the application separately from doing this firmware update through the app here. So you can do the firmware update using the 103, then afterwards you shut it down, download the 104 application, and restart everything. Now one of the other things you're going to need to know is that the batteries will also need updating. So what will happen is if you have multiple batteries, when you start up your application, once you get the firmware installed and it'll go through installation process, if you put another battery in, you'll start up your DJI Fly app again, and what you'll see is there'll be a message before it gets into the app directly right up in here saying your firmware needs to be updated on the battery. So what you want to do is hit OK and go through the update for that firmware update for that battery. Shut down once it's all done, the Mavic Mini will shut down on its own after that battery is updated, and then pull that battery out, put another one in that you haven't updated yet, restart the application. So you got to shut the DJI Fly application down, restart it up with the new battery in there, do the connect, and it'll tell you there you need to update the firmware on that battery. So if you go through the process, you should be able to get all the batteries updated, you should have your firmware updated, you should have the application updated, and everything should go well. The main reason for the app update is to solve the geo lock problem that people have been having with geofencing. And so you try it out in your situation if you're stuck, not able to fly because you're locked out of certain authorization zones. There's also some other tweaks that they've done to the firmware, mainly to help with problems they were having with people with having the compass errors that would cause some flight issues, and some other small aspects, and people are checking out right now if some of these fixes are actually working. So as far as I know, they haven't done anything when it comes to supporting Android 32-bit phones like everybody was hoping for, and some of the other tweaks and features that people want to have in the Mavic Mini at this point. They like to have active track, they'd like to have more control over the video settings. So at this point, doesn't look like any of that got implemented in this particular firmware update, but perhaps down the road. All right? I hope that helps. Have a good day.